What's up, guys? It's your boy Taj Brian, and I'm back again with another banger video on 876 United Facts TV. Today, guys, will be episode 8 of our mini series, and stay tuned. Alright, guys, so before we proceed with today's episode, I want you guys to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, get us to 200 subscribers, and yeah. Guys, today's episode will be about Bruno Fernandes, yes, our Magnifico, our best player this season, and probably our most influential player thus far. Guys, let's get into some benefits of Bruno Fernandes. Benefit number one, guys, Bruno Fernandes is a very articulate passer of the ball. Now, there are a lot of times when Bruno is under pressure and he gets his pass to his man. There's a lot of times when Bruno, he has multiple options to pass to, and he always passes to the right man. He's always the man that opens or picks the locks of several defenses. He's always our go-to guy in our offense, and yes, he's very good at passing. Now, guys, let us talk about benefit number two. So he's very creative, and as I said, he's our number 10 or attacking midfielder, so therefore it's a must for him to be creative. Now, this is a continuation of our first point of him being a good passer. Now, in order for us to be creative, we should also possess good passing ability. Yeah. So Bruno Fernandes is very creative. He's a man that can spray a 40-yard pass. He can make a defense splitting pass as well. He can also dribble the ball very well, creating spaces for the likes of Martial, Pogba, even Edison Cavani. So he's very creative, and he's one of our most influential players, as I said. And yeah, creativity is the key to his game, and he's a magician at it. And yeah, Bruno is the best creative player that we have this season. Number three, guys, Bruno Fernandes is a very hard worker. Now, we can say that he works hard just the same as like when Ole plays a Scott McTominay or a Fred for per se. But he's one of our influential players who works hard day in, day out. He's a man that, he goes back and defend. He goes up in attack. He's always moving. He works very hard. He ensures that the players around him are doing what they're supposed to. He's a man that you can depend on. You know that he'll put in a shift every game just so that we can reap the success. And yeah, he's very hardworking. I believe he works harder than even Scott McTominay at times, because he's one of the players as well. When he loses possession, he's the first man to get behind the ball to defend. So yes, Bruno Fernandes is a very hard worker. Now let's talk about benefit number four. He's a magician at set pieces. Now, he's probably one of the best at the club at set pieces. We have the likes of Alex Telles and of course Pogba as well, who can step up to the plate when it comes to set pieces. He's a man that he dispatches penalties. He can also dispatch free kicks and corners as well. So Bruno Fernandes is a magician. As I said, he's creative. So therefore, he's one of our best set piece takers. Set pieces, as I said, include corners, free kicks, and penalties. Now, as it relates to set pieces, now he has scored about 3 free kicks since he's been at United. One against Liverpool. He scored another one in earlier on in this season, and he scored one as well in his first season when he came last January. So Bruno Fernandes, for me, he's the man. He can be considered the jack of all trades and master of all. He's a man that I said he's dependable. He's good at set pieces. Especially penalties. Let us speak about penalties now. Now, we have had over the years, recent years, we had several persons taking penalties. Yeah, the Rashfords, the Pogbas, and a lot of times those players miss penalties. And since the incoming of Bruno Fernandes, we haven't had a penalty kicker crisis. We haven't had the same issues as it relates to persons, being consistent in dispatching penalties. So for me, Bruno Fernandes is a revelation overall in that category. Now let's talk about our penultimate benefit. He's a natural and a very good leader. Now we can say that yes, we already have a leader on the pitch in Harry Maguire. But in truth and in fact, in my opinion, I believe that Bruno is actually the captain because he's the man that is passionate on the field. He's the man that scolds players, so to speak, or rather reprimands his teammates, so to speak, when things haven't gone their way. He's also the man that encourages his teammates when they've made mistakes, encourage them to play up to a higher tempo as well. So naturally, he's a leader on the field, and we need that because over the years we lacked that leadership, especially in midfield. We had a lot of young players over the years, so leadership experience wasn't there. So yes, with leadership as well, there comes experience, and he's a man that is experienced. He's played in Italy and Portugal. Now he's in England tearing it up. He can be regarded one of the best leaders in the Premier League as well, because when you see him not on the pitch, you can see that there's a lack of leadership in that United team. Guys, so finally, Bruno Fernandes is our most consistent player. Now, we can speak about David De Gea over the years. Yes, David De Gea is one of our key players, as I mentioned in our first episode, and we can talk about Luke Shaw as well being a consistent player. But since Bruno Fernandes came to Manchester United, he has been the most consistent player. He's always the man who is giving an assist or scoring a goal. Persons might say most of his goals are penalties, but goals are goals. He's still contributing in a positive way, and he does this on a consistent basis. Now, there are times when the likes of our Anthony Martial, Greenwood has been hot and cold this season, Rashford as well, hot and cold this season, but Bruno Fernandes is always the man who shows, especially when we played against Sociedad, where in the Europa League, where we won that cup tie as well. He's always the man that is a fire starter. He's the man that is always ensuring that something happens in the game. And I guarantee if he wasn't at the club this season, we wouldn't have been even in second place in the Premier League table. And we wouldn't even be this far in the Europa League. So I must commend Bruno Fernandes for being a very consistent player, because we had the likes of Lingard. We understand his situation. We even had the likes of Pereira, who got his chance to prove himself, but he's very inconsistent. And even the likes of Pogba himself, he's very inconsistent. So we have to commend Bruno Fernandes for being that solid player thus far for us. Now guys, now that we have discussed his benefits, let's talk about his setbacks. I know that every player has their drawbacks and their benefits towards their game as a player, but it was a very tedious process for me to even find more than 3 setbacks to Bruno Fernandes' game, so stay tuned guys. But number 1, he tends to do too much on the pitch. As I said earlier, he's passionate, he is a hard worker, so therefore he tends to want to do a lot of things to assist the team, but sometimes that can lead to something negative for the team. That can lead him to overwork on the pitch, that can lead him to possibly sometimes give away a pass, sometimes be out of position. So therefore, instead of having our 2 pivot midfielders in position, we have 3 players there. So therefore, when we win possession, there is nobody in his place. Remember, he's the man that splits the defense. So if he's not in position, therefore there may be some errors in our midfield. So sometimes he needs to allow his teammates to do their job so he can do his job to the best of his abilities. Now let's talk about our second setback. He takes a lot of risks, and now I understand, guys, the position that he plays, it requires him to take several risks. Now for him, he's a forward thinking player, so therefore he's always going to want to play a forward pass, a defense splitting pass, and a lot of instances you'll find that a player who has that mentality will tend to lose possession often, and that loss of possession is actually a risk to take, and an error. So yes, it is a setback per se, but for a player of his caliber, it requires him to do those risks in order to make things happen. But unfortunately, I have to put that as a setback. There's another thing that I want to highlight, which is my final point, is that he has a temper. Now, he has received a few yellow cards this season, and it's down to him having a temper. It's down to him being passionate about the game, passionate about what's happening in the heat of the moment, But it can also be a setback, Sometimes he loses his cool, causing him to get possibly 2 yellow cards. There was an instance in a game where he got a yellow card for probably a rash tackle per se, according to the referee, and he was arguing, pleading, say, referee, this, that, bam, bam, bam. He needs to keep himself in check sometimes, in order to, as well, him having a temper as well can lead him to also make a lot of mistakes, because when you have a temper, you're frustrated in the match, you tend to rush things, you tend to be eager to make things happen, so therefore you'll make mistakes. So he just needs to work on that in order for him to be a cool and deadly player. Guys, that's our video today. That's Bruno Fernandes. I hope you guys enjoy. Get us to 200 subscribers. That is our goal for the month. Oh guys, just remember as well, there's not really much things bad to say about Bruno Fernandes. So possibly we can have some more things in future videos about Bruno Fernandes, but for the most part, he's a player that we depend on. He's a player that is very coveted by the fans. He's a player who we can say not much negative about. So that's our video today, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we're out.